Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is on the Ark Royale. You guys will have to let me know if you guys like the carrier ones. I'm not the world's best carrier player, but I've had a few people ask me, so because the Ark Royale is on sale this week, I believe actually it's more than a week, but if you do want to go get it, it is a solid carrier. We'll talk about it. We're using Dennis Boyd as a commander. Uh, we're using Do Fornet for the inspiration for the aircraft HE bomb damage because the HE bombs are very solid on this carrier. Also, we're using Ernest Kings to help out our AA. Swatting at flies, one-way ticket, out of sight, burn baby burn, and the vault. Now, if you wanted to build your commander differently, I could totally see that. I do not think I'm a carrier expert by any means at all. For our upgrades, we're using Flight Control Mod 1 and the mod guns too. It's basically what I use on almost all my carriers is the AA guns, and those are really bad. You do have HE bombers. These are what I always called carpet bombers, I guess. No, it's not really that, but what I've always called it. And these are easy to use. This is an easy to use carrier, and it's very dummy proof. You'll see I have a decent game in it. That's how you know it's dummy proof. Alright, so specs 44,000 health, but it's a carrier. It doesn't mean much. It means you're at total for somebody else if you get spotted. Uh, you do have three torpedoes, by the way. I did mention they do hit for 4,500. The torpedoes aren't terrible either. So, in my opinion, just a good carrier. But let's go ahead. You can see I've done 18 AA battles with it for probably bureaus, as I'm my guessing. But we do have some standard matches in it. And I've literally averaged 94,000. So I one game I had 93, and one game I had 94. Pretty easy carrier to use, guys. Not gonna lie. Even 2,200, almost 2,300 average XP in a carrier tells you how solid the carrier is. There's nothing wrong with this carrier. I For armor, yeah, really don't have much, but if we did want to take all off of this, what is that? Is that all 19 and 21? Wow, that's not good. That's your Citadel. Pretty much anybody can hit it. And if you do, that 44,000 hit points goes away real quick, guys. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player. Not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that out of the way, you guys can see I pinged the destroyer. Why would I say attack the destroyer? It's not really to say attack the destroyer. It's to let my teammates know which destroyer is what cap, so we know the T-22 is here. And we're going to harass him a little bit now that we know he's there. One thing I do in a destroyer is I like to impact the game. You guys are going to, or one thing I like to do in a carrier not is impact the game by getting rid of destroyers, if at all possible. And this carrier is relatively good at it. I don't claim to be the best carrier player, guys. So what you're about to see is probably not going to be ideal carrier play. But you're going to see here, this was literally the first game I got into it. I have only played it one other time in standard. This was a while ago after the carrier update, just to see what it felt like. Um, that's it. So this is me getting used to them on the fly, guys. And you can see we're going to have a slow start, but we're going to do pretty well, actually, in this game for what it is, right? For not having played it. Now, you guys will have to let me know whether you like carriers or not on the channel once in a while, because this was requested by a few people, and when I get requests, I have a tendency to do them when I can. So, I hopped into the carrier actually the day that this was requested. I know it's coming out today, but sorry for those that asked. It's a couple days late, but we had to get Leningrad out one as well. And we are going to start to keep harassing this destroyer. And we're going to reset them there a little bit at least to help that. And you notice I've been using the HE bombs first. That's because they're probably the best. And honestly, I should have been probably targeting the same target to get perma-fires on, right? But didn't really do that. I went for target of, best opportunity or target of opportunity. What we're going to do is now we got the torpedoes out. These torpedoes on this thing, I think, are pretty underrated. I've had some pretty good luck with these torpedoes, and they're pretty easy to use. Now, one thing I did early on the match, and I forgot about, was to dump some planes. So I would drop, if you guys seen my first salvo out of the aircraft carrier, I did dump some HE bombs, so I wasn't wasting it. Also, we're going to keep the T-22. I know my teammates can't necessarily directly see them, but if I have opportunity to keep them highlighted on the way to somewhere, I will do that. Just so that they know where he is on the map. We're actually going to go dump some more torpedoes off and head this way. So, two things I don't do very well as a carrier player, guys. I'll be very clear. Sometimes I don't pay attention to what has good AA and what doesn't. I do have a pretty decent awareness of what has decent AA and what don't, but there's a few ships that escape my reach, and you'll notice I probably mess up a little bit doing that. But the other thing I do is I did not put out my fighter squadrons in good places here. I should have been protecting my teammates better. You're going to notice that carrier, the other carrier player, is actually going to focus on a flank here in a little bit. And I should have been maybe helping out over there to help shoot down some of his planes. So that's my mistake, guys. But like I said, not the world's greatest carrier player. But you see, we're hitting torps. We hit 5 of 6, I feel, so far. And we're going to keep messing with this destroyer. It's something I like to do. And we're actually going to get a decent drop. By my third time, I have it timed pretty well, and we hit him pretty good. And so, you see, we're, 5 minutes into the match, I'm starting to get a feel for this thing. The aiming of the bombs and what to target. And soft targets are probably the best target. Honestly, I know battleships are easy targets, but sometimes these HE bombs will shatter on them. So if you're going for fires, that's all fine and dandy. If you're going for damage, I would choose carriers and destroyers. You can see we just chunked carrier into, or a cruiser and a destroyer pretty well there for the most part. And again, anytime you really have these HE bombs ready, you should probably use them. Although, to be honest, the torpedoes aren't that bad either. I just feel like the HE bombs are really easy to aim for a lot of people, and they're relatively accurate. So this is a pretty easy carrier to use. You're going to see I have a slow start here in this match, and you're going to see once I get dialed in a little bit here, you're going to see how this match kind of changes a little bit. As you can see, we shattered 3 of them there on that Hyuga. And in another daily dumb Dave moment, I'm going to fly and not realize I'm out of fuel for my planes. Oh man, I think I'm going to do that a few times, by the way. So we have a little bit of a slow start, no problem. Our team is getting our butts kicked. Probably a good chunk of my bad start. So we're going to up our ante a little bit and try to do the best we can. Help get rid of help get rid of the enemy team. And it's not looking good. I think they were up by 2 or 3 at one point. And we are going to do our best to try to help. We see Congo is definitely a little on the weaker side. So we want to help try to get rid of that just to get some guns off target off of our cruiser, because our cruiser is getting mauled right now. That poor guy has walked into a hornet's nest, and we're going to take another little jab at the carrier. Now, At this moment is when I realized I probably, you guys are going to see this drop, I probably should have went for the carrier right away in this match because look at that damage. That's solid damage. I could have got rid of the carrier in probably three or four drops pretty easily, I would think, right? So probably something you want to focus on. Them Japanese carriers don't have much deck on them. So if you run across that, the HE bombs work pretty well against them. And like I said, we had a slow start, but you're starting to see it's going to pick up. And by the end of this, we're going to have ourselves a decent game and help our team hopefully come back in this match. Right? We do have both caps, so I am being at the very back of the map because we do have points. So it is kind of an even match. They have more ships, but we have more points as long as I'm not dumb and stay alive. I might be a little bit foreshadowing there. On how I can be dumb. With that being said, we're going to drop on to the Queen Mary, and we're going to go ahead and drop on the... Now, granted, these ships haven't really dodged a whole lot, but you can see we've had a fair amount of torpedo hits in this match, right? Like, these things are pretty easy to aim. You can get them pretty close in, and you're going to see here, we're going to go take some more out because we've had such good luck with them. And we get a flood on the carrier. And it actually is a perma flood. And like I said, we are going to try to help these guys out. So you guys have to let me know how many of you guys are really carrier players or how often they play. But in my opinion, this carrier is pretty good. This is, if I were to play, well, I am going to play more carriers. But right now I'm doing more tech tree. If I were to play a carrier, this is one of my favorite carriers to play because this thing is pretty easy to use. I think at the tier it's probably the best carrier, but I'm not a carrier expert as previously stated. We are going to help get rid of Queen Mary because it seems like Queen Mary can't shoot down any of my planes whatsoever. It's kind of a tier 4 Arkansas. As we get ready to line up on the carrier, he does get, in fact, killed. So we're going to try to get ready to go ahead and drop on Hyuga. But then again, I'm out of fuel again. So you guys can see, not the most efficient player, I guess you would say, when it comes to the carrier. But nonetheless, we're still going to have ourselves a solid game. Also, I noticed the A cap is going. I was trying to get here to reset this. Try to keep them from getting a cap. At this point, though, we have a pretty hefty cap lead. So as long as we stay alive, no matter what the outcome is, we're going to win this match. If we're not dumb and get caught, notice where this cruiser is going, is we're going to turn our planes around and try to hit him a second time. One thing I didn't notice at the time either is Hyuga is going to get a high caliber and Confederate. If I had seen that earlier, I probably would have focused on him instead. But you're going to notice I didn't move my carrier. As you can see, you can auto, if for those of you new to carriers, you can go to your map and have an auto move, autopilot to another part of the map. As you can see, I didn't do that very quickly, right? Now I'm spotted because I'm a moron. But you can see quietly, we're having ourselves a pretty solid game all of a sudden. We've used HE bombs and the torpedoes quite effectively. We've hit 13 torpedoes. That's pretty good for me in a carrier. And we're going to go back here and try to hit Duca Costa again. We're trying to slow him down. He's not really slowing down. He is coming for me, right? That's what he's going for. And as our Warspite has been murdering all the way between me and Warspite, I felt like we were pretty solid on helping our team here because he's got a high caliber. I can tell you I'm pretty close to a high caliber. We've done a pretty good job. We're going to go ahead and hit the Devonshire again and try to get him perma-burning. We're going to actually take... the one thing I will say, guys, too, with carriers, if you want people that quit trailing you, you probably want to use torpedo bombers. And the reason is they're either going to eat all your torpedoes or they're going to dodge, or they're going to have to dodge, and that's going to slow them down, right? Now, our Warspite, that is a pretty salvo coming in from the backyard, and he absolutely waffle stomps Duca Costa. Now, he has his Confederate. Had I been paying attention and known our Warspite had 4 kills, this last little maneuver would not have happened. I wouldn't have dropped on this guy, and I would have tried to let that guy get that Kraken. And so, if you're watching, I'm sorry, Warspite. You should have got your Kraken. That's on me, dude. But you can see we're pretty effective in the carrier. Well, I would say the carrier is pretty effective. I don't know if I was. Second on the leaderboard, really helping our team win. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time. Have a good one, folks.